One of the first things we know about Jehovah's Witnesses is that they don't get blood transfusions. And I wanted to get into this topic because I want to know more about the misconceptions and the positive and negative effects of bloodless medical care. When I was younger, I remember that I had a girl in my class and she used to have a necklace and it has a metal plate on it. And she told me she wears that. It's because she cannot have blood. She cannot have blood transfusion. And of course, I was familiar with that already when I was little. And I remember we had these SOS necklaces. You can twist them, and then there's a little paper in it. I remember that we had that at home, but I cannot remember that I had it around my neck wearing that because we couldn't have blood. So I know we couldn't have blood in my home, but I remember the girl was actually wearing it because of that reason. So maybe you have the same experience. Do you remember as a Jehovah's Witness, maybe you're ex-Jehovah's Witness, that happened, or you knew someone that was wearing an identity necklace or an SOS necklace, and they had a paper in it with no blood transfusions? Okay, let me know in the comments. Now you might ask yourself, why don't Jehovah's Witnesses do blood transfusions? And the answer is actually quite simple. It's because of religious reasons and religious beliefs. They believe that you are not supposed to eat the flesh with the blood because the blood is life and it's seen as the soul of, I think it's actually about animals more than humans, because do we consume humans, you know? Yeah, it's simple. Blood is sacred in their belief. And it's also because Jehovah is alive, the giver of life, as they say, and you should respect him as the giver of life. I got a Bible verse here, and it says, just be firmly resolved not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life with the flesh. And Jehovah, okay, so that I think it's clear that kind of sums up what I just said. So Jehovah's Witnesses aren't getting blood, but they're also not giving blood in the hospital, like the Red Cross. They're not going there to give anyone blood. Okay. I can remember that my mom was sometimes baking things, and she was making things with eggs, or for instance like minced meat with eggs, and she mashed it up, and she was always trying to get out any speck of blood. Like, it doesn't matter, like the smallest speck, if she saw it, she took it out because of her beliefs as a Jehovah's Witness, and just can't have it. Fortunately, we never had any big bad accidents happening in our family, so we never had to have any blood transfusions either. But you know, it can happen. Yeah, so bloodless medicine have been really radicalized in the past. I remember that people saying like, how can you let a child die? Or like, how can you leave someone not give any blood transfusions and actually leave them to die? How can you do that? You know, when you could have helped someone. You wanted someone to stay alive, of course, and then you're actually letting them die. Yeah, how could you do that? Is it true that we leave someone to die when we could have helped them? And is it concerning, or isn't that even true? I'm going into a couple of misconceptions. I'm going to record my voice for it. And it's on the jw.org page. It's on their website, and it says, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in medicine or medical treatment, which is a myth. And they actually do believe in medical care. I cannot remember that my parents ever declined any medical care, like normal medical care. So no, that is actually not true. I think people just made that up. Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that faith will heal, a person's ailments. That is a myth. We do not practice faith healing. However, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of things, and especially when it comes to mental care, is that Jehovah's Witnesses are usually looking for spiritual advice directly from Jehovah or the Bible. That is what I've seen mostly that they do when people are suffering mentally. that they are looking for Jehovah's word and the strength from Jehovah. So yeah, in a sense, I think it's actually true, and possibly because of medical care. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that, but it could be. But they say it's not true, so I don't know. Many witnesses, including children, die each year of a result of refusing blood transfusion, which is a myth, they say. But it could be. I don't know how many people are getting blood transfusions. I don't know. It's just, that is just one side of the coin, and that's what I see with Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not that when I see the surgeons talking, the Jehovah's Witnesses are like, the surgeons have to be and the doctors have to be. They have to listen to their patients' wishes, but Jehovah's Witnesses only show one side of themselves. But it can happen, you know. One thing that is a big stressor for surgeons and for doctors is actually that they want to save people. They doing that job maybe to save people, and they are not allowed to save someone, and they need to let someone decide for themselves if they want to continue with the blood transfusion or not. And I've seen that it could be a very stressful situation, because you need to decide fast. You need to do things like you want to save your patient, and because of what their beliefs are, doctors and surgeons are with their hands in their hair, like on their head. They don't know what to do, because people are choosing, because of their religious beliefs, no blood transfusion, and it's very painful. And because of that, people are also, surgeons and doctors, they're not choosing to treat a certain patient, but for that, and then they might seem discriminating against someone's religious beliefs, and that's not something that they want to do. But some people choose not to do it because they actually don't want to see someone die if they could have helped them. But then this person should find another doctor that actually wants to treat the patient and for their beliefs and no blood transfusion. Well, I'm gonna talk about why you should actually do blood transfusion. I'm gonna view it from the Jehovah's Witness side, and I'm gonna view it from the rest of the medical world side. Why should you do a blood transfusion? Why should you do a blood transfusion? Well, simply because you can actually lose limbs, and you can actually die from it. That is the biggest reason why people, you need to act quickly when someone's losing a lot of blood, or you're losing a lot of blood. People, you need to act quickly. That is absolutely a do. Why should you do it? Yeah, it saves lives. So I actually got a few stories from people that I found on the internet, and it's about Jehovah's Witnesses that choose no blood transfusion. And there are a couple of examples that I got here. This is a story from a guy, and it says, "I'm a vet tech and I regularly help with dog blood transfusions." He says, "I talked to a doctor that had a Jehovah's Witness client come in and declined a blood transfusion for their dog. These people are wackos." That's what he says. He helps with dog blood transfusions. Something that I also didn't really think about. It's kind of strange. It's because, I don't know, you did get to decide for your dog. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. It is in fact kind of crazy, you know? And I got another story from someone else, and they say, living in a highly Jehovah's Witness populated area, when asking my critical patients, "Do you have any religious beliefs that may affect your care?" when they are still able to make decisions, you would be surprised how many Jehovah's Witness patients have asked me immediately what would happen if I don't get a transfusion in emergency. Even receiving partial blood products delays care, sometimes hours. It brought me a great peace every time I can educate someone enough to uncheck that box. People are possibly pretty undereducated there. It sounds like they're pretty undereducated, and they need to hear also information from a medical professional, I think. I think that's good. It's really good to see different sides of the story, and that's why I wanted to get into this. Yeah, this person is really feeling peace because people are asking questions and they may want to get saved actually. So yeah, that is beautiful. I think it's beautiful. And what are reasons not to have a blood transfusion? Well, doctors actually say that there are quite a few developments in the healthcare about blood transfusion or bloodless medicine actually. Bloodless medicine are medicine that do not contain any blood and for other things. I don't know what it exactly was. Oh, and it's also said that other people other than Jehovah's Witnesses are choosing bloodless medical care and like a medicine. And why is that? Because of when you're getting blood, you could have allergies afterwards. You need to have the right blood type. People are getting sick afterwards. Your body can attack the blood that is coming in your body, even if it's the same blood type. So different types of reasons that even people without being a Jehovah's Witness choose no blood transfusion, but then bloodless medical care. Bloodless care is basically okay. So they see anemia treatment, for instance. This is some type of nutritions or therapies that help a body to produce its own red blood cells again. They have techniques to minimize blood loss during surgeries, and if it's already happening before. I see conservation of your own blood as well. What I also saw was people have their own blood taken before and then put back into their body. They drain the blood from a person's own body and they put it back in their body when it's needed. I don't really know the conservation of blood actually. I didn't get into that, but I see it's a technique that they use as well. Okay, so anemia comes when your body doesn't have any or not enough blood cells. Oh, iron deficiency. Iron deficiency comes up and they also use pills for that, for instance. Your body needs iron to make blood like red blood cells. You can also get an IV in your vein, an infusion, but not with blood. So there's a treatment of iron pills, for instance. If people can still take that. Yeah, blood transfusion is important when someone has extreme low levels of red blood cells, or when your body is unable to produce more blood than it does in the moment. This is a very good and very important thing to do actually. And hemopure is also an option. It's from purified cow's blood, like red blood cells. Okay, that is interesting to know. That is also a way. It's not really an in-between option, but it's not fully like human blood, but it's like a pure version of hemoglobin, oxygen carrier. Okay, that is crazy. Okay, so are blood transfusions still really saving lives, or does it need development? I think it's a good question to ask. And also what you see is that people giving blood is always very much encouraged. Like, you're a good person because you're giving blood to another person, and you're sitting there at the Red Cross, and they are tanking your blood, and you have bags of blood in your blood type, and to help other people, and it's considered a good thing. People think they're actually doing a good deed, but is that really true? Something is interesting that I found, and also in the comments, someone asked me if I could talk about this topic. Thank you very much for that comment, by the way, because I was not aware of that even existing. It was the HLC, the Hospital Liaison Committee, which is basically like an intermediary person, like a person in between from the patient to the hospital, that is helping with bloodless care, and that actually going into the right thing, like in the right rhythm, that they get the right care for them. It's basically like the elders, this person in between you and God, basically, and is gonna help you with your wishes and possibly your medical care. Okay, I'm going into that later. I wanted to end the video with this one because I actually am going to make a video about the HLC, so the Hospital Liaison Committee, and I'm really looking forward to it. Because I have been doing a little research about it as well. I'm definitely gonna make a video about it. So what is the conclusion of this video? It's kind of hard to tell, in my opinion, if bloodless care is better than blood transfusion itself. I don't know. Like, I feel like on both sides there are like the problems. You know, there are problems on both sides. It's not black and white when it comes to that. It's both sides have really been can be problematic, can be like, I think definitely in the medical world it's life or death sometimes, you know, when it comes to that. Yeah, I think in certain cases you should be open for blood transfusion, which probably people also do. They're not that strict sometimes. Some people are very strict, some people aren't when it comes to that. And then with the blood transfusion, people are even choosing bloodless medicine when they want to. And I think, you know, the belief of no blood transfusion because it is sacred and personally for you, it sounds beautiful, but it can also like save a life when you do blood transfusion. So I think I don't really have a final thing. The conclusion is that there is not really a conclusion. There's no yes or no. There's no wrong or right. But I think if you could help someone, do that, you know, if you can help someone. And I think the development in the medical world is still a good thing that it happens. I think it's a good thing that blood transfusion is being discovered and bloodless medicine as well. I think it's a cool thing. And but can it be only with no blood transfusion? I don't think so. And I think it also needs some development. I think both sides absolutely need development, you know. I think Jehovah's Witnesses feel like they really need to stroke their own shoulder, and they feel so amazing. They feel like they have done something great for the medical world. But then because blood transfusions, what I see is blood transfusions aren't always going right in general. So it's not necessarily the Jehovah's Witnesses that made something groundbreaking. I think the medical world is doing something groundbreaking. And maybe some people, it doesn't matter if you're Jehovah's Witness or not. That is their conviction, but then the medical world is actually changing it up. They can discover then what is an alternative to no blood transfusion, you know, and bloodless medical care. So that is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe. I really appreciate everything. I still see people coming in, people are following. Thank you so much. I love this. This really makes me feel good, and I want to continue doing this. I feel that I'm actually doing something for the people. That there are a lot of people that don't know about being a Jehovah's Witness and their views on it. And I try to make it as diverse as possible, so we can learn things from it, because I am learning. I think hopefully you are learning as well. Learn with me. Okay. Thank you very much. I really like to see you again. Okay, bye-bye. Peace.